Hi there, it's Frank here again, and today I have an encouraging message to share to you. And what prompted me to talk about this is that, interestingly, first thing in the morning, I talked to my wife, and it was about the fact that I was thinking of doing something which could possibly cause me to be in a good position or a bad position. Good position because I am actually challenging myself to grow. Bad position because I might be biting more than what I could actually chew. And considering what she has to say, I believe she has a good wisdom or insight. And that's the reason why I asked her. So, to cut a long story short, what she said was something that I took into consideration, but that also sparked an interesting discussion where I started talking about growing. And I'm also reminded of the things I've heard in the past that anything that is alive and is living and it's active grows, right? And that whenever something grows or when you are growing, it's not comfortable. There's no comfort in your growth area. And true enough, if you would think about it, you would definitely agree. Now, how many of you have heard this saying by a famous motivational speaker who said, "You've got to be before you can do, and you've got to do before you can have"? If you're into motivational talks and leadership, then you'd probably know that is from Zig Ziglar. And the interesting reason why I shared this, because I was sharing that you have to challenge yourself to grow, to learn new things, and not be comfortable with the current state that you're in. Because if you don't, you will remain in that area, which is a plateau. And when you're stagnant, you're not flowing. And when you're not flowing, you're not growing. When you're not growing, basically, you're just not progressing or moving forward. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to stay stuck in an area where there's no growth. Because after all, you and I are living beings and created in the image and likeness of God. And we are actually created to do great works. Yep, you heard me right. If that is a question mark to you, don't worry, I'm going to get there and all of these will make sense to you. But before I end up rambling again and taking so much of your time listening to what I have to say, and you're wondering where is all of this leading into, when most of the time I'd be scattered thoughts with everything that I have to share, because anything that I'd say sometimes leads from one thing to another, but then it actually leads me to another point, which is actually not exactly where I initially wanted to go in my trajectory. And I just did that right now. Anyway, what's the point? Why am I sharing this? Connecting it back to what I've said earlier. You know how it is sometimes one of the greatest problems that people have is that they wish to have something that other people have, or they want to have a better life, better situation, but then they refuse to pay the price or the cost of achieving such success. Let that sink in for now. And interestingly, lately also, what I actually thought was originally an idea of mine wasn't originally my own idea. And I'm actually surprised because all the while I thought I was the first person to think like that. Anyway, so I've been listening to this audio tape, which was recommended by my boss, and it is by Earl Nightingale. And he said in there, the greatest problem that we have in the society, despite of the advancement that we have, is that people don't think much as they should do. Interestingly, it is still relevant up to this day. One of the reasons why it is what it is, this problem that we have, the current world and setting that we're in, it's because not too many people actually know who they are and what their purpose is. If there's a tug in your heart that begs to disagree with what I've just said, I'm going to say it again. Most of the problems that we have in our world today, it's because of the fact that collectively people around the world don't know who they are and what their purpose is. And so if there's anything that I would actually want for you to take from all these ramblings that I'm doing, it is this. God created you and me in His image and likeness and provided for all and everything that we need so that we can abound in every good work which God has prepared in advance for us to do. Why? Because as bearers of His image and likeness, we are supposed to be a blessing and an encouragement to one another. That's basically the whole point of this message. I hope you were able to get something of value from that. God bless you.